And Conway. Kelyanne, thank you for all this. Can you give us any TikTok on this? When, during the night or whenever, did Donald Trump come up with this decision to basically let Hillary Clinton off the hook in terms of further prosecution?
It's a recent development, and those are his words, so we respect them. He repeated them today at the New York Times on the record briefing. Chris, you talked a little bit about that. He actually went on for a couple of minutes about this issue to the New York Times. I was sitting right next to him. He said that it was a vicious primary, vicious campaign. He thinks that she and the Clintons have suffered enough, and he just wants to unite the country and move forward, not backward. And then he ticked off a whole list of things that he does care about. He said he's very focused, he's most focused right now on health care, on immigration, on national security, on the many problems he thinks exist throughout the world. This is somebody who's getting regular intelligence briefings now, and so he is convinced there are many issues that need his immediate attention as our Commander-in-Chief and President of the United States.
So much of the voting, you and I talked off and on off the record. I won't go into details because there wasn't much really to it except asking each other questions. But you know, there were a lot of people decided, a lot of people in the suburbs, for example, where I'm from, or near the suburbs, my brothers and all, that made last-minute decisions toward Trump. They didn't like either of the candidates especially, but they made a decision for Trump because they don't like Hillary. They just really don't like her. And they really, I think, like the idea that Trump was calling her crooked Hillary. And they like the idea that he said, his people said, lock her up. And now one of the real motivating emotions, if you will, of the campaign near the end was better him than her. And now that's going side, and there's no more belief on the part of him.
No, it's not.
Is there a belief that she's crooked Hillary, or is that just something that's been dropped?
Well, Chris, look at the polling. NBC's polling and other people's polling. A majority of Americans still think that she has a veracity problem, a casual relationship with the truth.
Does he think that?
This is part of why. No, this is important. This is part of why she lost. And look, I'll say it again. Their unfavorability ratings were high for each of them, but for very different reasons. And for her, you had a much higher, more intense number of people saying, I just can't go there. I just can't abide the lying or the mistruths, or using the State Department as a concierge for foreign governments, and the pay-to-play and the Clinton Foundation. I mean, come on, there's a whole bunch of stuff in what I call their scandalabra. But with him, you know, we can't have it both ways, because on this network and out of Hillary Clinton's mouth herself, it was claimed that when Jim Comey came out on October 28th and said he would reopen or start a new investigation into her emails, everybody had their head on fire and said, people already decided what they think about that. It's baked in the cake. She said it very clearly. So we can't have it both ways. Did people decide last minute because of those emails, or had they already decided because of those emails?
I think it all helped. Let me ask you about what you do now. We've got people like Trey Gowdy. We've got people like Jason Chaffetz and Darrell Issa who are making a living on basically going after Hillary, holding hearing after hearing. How do you stop that process as the president? If he will be the president come January 20th, how does he call off the dogs? Donald Trump.
He respects federalism, and he respects the separation of powers. So he has stated what his position is as the president-elect and the leader of his party now, certainly. And he's made that very clear. He's just said he has no interest in pursuing these charges, that he wants to unite the party, unite the country, and he wants to move forward, not backward. He has said that. He can't control what other people do completely. He's the president of the United States.
But he can control.
So,
he can control.
No, that's not true. Then you're suggesting. I'm sorry, but then you're suggesting that President Obama was interfering or should have interfered somehow with Hillary's email. There's no indication of that.
No, I just wonder whether he has ruled out a pardon, because the advantage of a pardon, just a broad pardon, the president has the absolute authority to do it. It would basically call off the dogs. It would say there's no reason for more investigation. I'm not saying she's innocent. I'm just saying let's drop this like Jerry Ford did. Would that be out of the question, just to say, that's part of my magnanimity of taking office. I'm just going to clear the air. There'll be no more prosecution because I'm pardoning her. End it right there. He could do that.
He hasn't said that. He hasn't said that. And
has he ruled it out?
That's not a conversation. It's not a conversation we've had one way or the other.
Do you think he'd rule it out?
It's not. I just don't know where his head is on that. It's not a conversation we've had. You just saw what he said today. I think it's big news. I think he made a lot of news yesterday and today, frankly. I mean, he's made some decisions on more appointments. They'll be coming out in the next couple of days. And he's just incredibly busy up there, getting his cabinet together, his senior staff, making decisions, obviously sitting with the press yesterday, the electronic press, the TV press, and including NBC and MSNBC, And today, in a really an extraordinary on-the-record briefing with a newspaper that told America not to vote for him. And I think their coverage of him has been, well, a bit one-sided. But he's happy to go in there and try to have a conversation with them and try to answer their questions. And I thought he was terrific, and I thought they were both sides were very accessible.